I had this client called FlowXO, and they had 18% open rates on their onboarding emails. And those emails were just out of date. They were created years ago. They were no longer relevant to the product experience today. I implemented an email campaign from scratch that increased the open rates from 18 to 40%. And I'm about to share exactly what I went through. At the end of it, I'll share the 4 rules of onboarding that I found through just implementing this. Now, the overarching goal is always to convert free users into paid users. But for this to happen, they first need to understand the value of your product, the value your SaaS brings. And in order for them to understand this value, what they need to do is solve a problem they have through your product. When they do this, like at the moment they solve the problem with your product, this is called the aha moment. It's the moment of first value, the activation event. This is where users understand, okay, this is why I need it. And shortly after, they just purchase it. And so the whole goal of the onboarding emails is to help them achieve the activation event the fastest. Step one, what I did when I did this, like my step one was the activation event. Now, if you already know your activation event, feel free to skip to step 2. There will be chapters down below. So I'll share 3 ways with you. The first one is customer interviews. If you have customers, just go with this. Schedule like 5 interviews with your recent customers. It's really important to schedule the interview with the recent customers because the information is just fresh inside their minds. These are the questions I usually ask during interviews. Credit to Aaron Kroll. You could ask all of them. They will reveal really a lot of insights. What are the problems that lead them to you, and then how you can market around those problems. It's really interesting stuff that I'll reserve for another video. Now, at the end of the interviews, you could ask them, at what point did your product click for you? Do not ask this at the beginning. I know it's tempting, but you need to warm the customers first before you ask this. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. So ask it at the end. This is literally the activation event. Another way is to reverse engineer their actions. You just go inside your CRM, look at all of the customers that converted recently and see the actions that they took. What you could also do actually is use an analytics tool such as Mixpanel. Highly recommend that. It will literally do the grunt work for you. It will tell you users went through this flow with these actions in order to convert. Really effective. If you don't have customers, then you have some guesswork to do, honestly, no way around it. So do your best to guess what actions do users need to take in order to achieve that first value for you, for them. Usually it's a sequence of about 3 to 5 actions. You could also use ChatGPT to act as a customer and walk you through different scenarios. Just play around with it. And a bonus tip here is the post-conversion emails. So if you want to schedule the interviews, what you could do is create a sequence that sends this email. It's literally the email that I sent. You're asking them to book a call 24 hours after they have converted. When I implemented this, I saw 60 to 70% open rates and 20% click-through rates with the strategy. So highly recommend it. You could just copy-paste this email if you want to. It's very effective. Hey, real quick, if you need help with the implementation of what I'm sharing with you, go to this website, scroll to the bottom and book a call with me. After we know the activation event, the next step is to obviously design the email onboarding sequence. I used a strategy that's inspired by Dan Mattel. And in the case of FlowXO, they had a free trial that was 14 days long. I wanted to use the first 10 days in order to get users to the activation event and then use the next 4 days in order to sell the customer. And so when somebody signs up for your free trial, you immediately send them a welcoming email. Now, what you say in the welcoming email, you want to confirm why they're here. You want to give them validation that they're in the right place. Meaning, this is why the activation event is important and doing the interviews with all these questions is important because you know the problems they're coming to solve. For example, if they want to automate customer support, just say, hey, Steven, wanted to congratulate you because you're one step closer to automating your customer support. And then you continue. but you give them the validation that they're in the right place. So what to cover inside the email is you confirm the problem they'll solve, what they could expect from your company. Then you could give them a few helpful links inside the email. It could be to your help center, it could be your YouTube channel. Just be helpful here. And finally, you want to tell them what they should do next. Ideally, just tell them what are those 3 to 5 steps they need to take in order to achieve that first value. Now, this is sent on day 0 essentially, and on day 2, you send them training. So with the training, you want to, make them experts in your product. This is where you could send them a webinar, you could send them a group training, maybe record a special video just for that onboarding, just to help them achieve that first value. This is what you want to do. In this email, you want to cover why they should watch it. Then you want to tell them what you teach them to do. And finally, a CTA to go watch it. On day 5, you want to send them a case study, because at that point, they've probably tried a few things and they might or might have not achieved the aha moment, or they are not motivated. And so you really want to show them it's just possible. This is all you want to do. This is your opportunity to tell them, look, this client who is extremely similar to you used our product in this way and achieved this result. This is what you want to do. And so what to cover is what problem the client was experiencing, the way they used your SaaS to solve it, and what is the end result. And this will give them the motivation to keep on going, because some of your products, I've seen some complex SaaS products which just require so much time and mental energy to really get to that aha moment. Now on day 7, they've probably tried around a few things and they're having a few questions at the back of their minds, but for whatever reason, they might have not reached to your customer support, for example. Maybe they were lazy, they had other things to do, and so on and so forth. So you really want to answer those questions. And so what to cover is literally answer at least 6 of the most common questions you hear, maybe inside your customer support. Because for every person that asks a question in your customer support, at least 100 other people are thinking about it but haven't reached out to you. So use this to your advantage. By this point, they should probably be activated, but just in case they're not, we really want to kind of transition to sales but still being helpful. So on day 10, offer help. Literally just send 1 sentence inside your email. This sentence is pretty much asking them if they need help with anything, and if they do whatever it takes to help them. It's either getting on a call with them and just showing them exactly what to do. You will learn a lot this way, by the way. Or communicating with them via an email. Sending them a Loom video is extremely efficient process as well. So yeah, offer them help. On day 12, maybe they just didn't have the time to implement everything. They saw the value, but they don't have the resources. And so you could offer them professional help, meaning professional services. This is kind of an upsell. Tell them we can do this for you for X. And what to cover here is first remind them the free trial is coming to an end. Then explain the service you offer, explain how it works, and give them a link to schedule a call. Really simple, really straightforward. On day 14, you make the final offer. Now, when I say the final offer, do not always think about a monetary offer, something like we'll give you 50% off. It's not always about that. Sometimes, if they're the right person and they're very likely to convert, an offer could be as simple as, if you don't upgrade today, you will lose access to everything you've built so far. And I mean, this is valuable to the right person, right? And you want to convert the right person. You don't want to convert everybody. So think about these offers. So what to cover is what they have achieved so far. Ideally, if you can populate this dynamically, this is a game changer. And then what they'll lose if they decide not to upgrade. Remind them of all the people who have joined your SaaS just for that social proof. Be like, we have all of these, say 300, 100, 50, 10 customers who are already solving this problem through the product. I'd be happy to have you on board, or I'd be thrilled to have you on board. Just be exciting here. And finally, a CTA with a link to upgrade. Say they don't decide to upgrade. Then on the next day, on day 15, you could have another offer where you tell them, do this to get another free trial. Maybe they didn't have the time to complete the free trial. Maybe it was something else. But this is your chance to help them do a certain action or a series of actions that will help them get to the activation event. What to cover is ask them if they want another free trial. Tell them they'll get it if they do X. Now, what X could be, just an idea for you, is if you book a demo call with me to show you the ropes, I'll give you another 14 days or whatever, or however long your free trial is, and then end it with a CTA. It's really powerful stuff. Now, after I implemented this sequence, I saw my open rates were at 28%. I mean, which was, it was fine because we increased it from 18 to 28, but I just wanted to increase it further. I started doing A/B tests. And so I tested different subject lines, different copy, pictures, structure, you name it. And I would only change one variable and run the test for a week. This is how slowly but surely I climbed the open rates from 28 to 40%. And if you're wondering, I consider one test complete as soon as been sent to 100 to 200 people. It's not glamorous, but it definitely works. Step 4 is to optimize for deliverability. And I'm placing this here because there was this one day where the open rates dropped significantly from 40% to 21%. And I was like, what? And so I knew something was been going on under the hood. And so the first thing I thought of checking was if the emails were going to the spam folder or somewhere else. There's this free tool called Gmass. Actually, let me show it to you. If you just type in Gmass and then it's this link, inbox spam or promotions, what you do is you take your sending domain, so the email inbox you're sending the onboarding emails from, you copy paste these emails here, and then you take your welcoming email, copy paste it and send it to all of these. Then you type in your domain name here, domain.com, right? And this will filter for only the emails received from your domain. And it will tell you if your emails land in spam, if they land in updates, or in promotions, or the primary inbox. You are aiming for the primary inbox. Anything but the primary inbox is an utter disappointment because your emails wouldn't get opened in the first place. In my case, it was in the updates. So what I did, and even if it's in spam, you still need to do the same thing. I used one of the many warm-up tools, email warm-up tools on the internet. So I used smartly.ai in this case. What the warm-up tool does is it sends emails to an internal network of inboxes. And if your emails land in spam or promotions, it automatically marks them so they land in the primary inbox, which is what we want. And after just 1 week of warming up the inbox, my emails started to land in the primary inbox again. Doing all of these things, going through them, I realized there are really 4 rules of onboarding. And the first one is to be personable. I saw my email rates increase once I started writing as if I was writing to a single person. I had somebody in mind through the customer interviews that I did. And when I was writing the emails, it's as if I was writing to them. And so this made them a lot more personable. A lot of people actually started replying to these onboarding emails because they thought I was actually sending them manually. Then you should have a defined outcome, meaning ensure the emails help solve your audience's problems. Daily improvement is where you always A/B test them to make sure first they're relevant and second to maintain those high open rates. No matter how valuable your emails are, if they're not getting opened, it just doesn't matter. And finally, ensure deliverability, meaning always warm up your sending domains to avoid the promotions folder or the spam folder. By the way, like if you're wondering, you keep the warm up continuously. You never turn it off. It should always be there. And like a good amount is, if you're sending 100 onboarding emails per day, then aim to send 100 warm up emails as well, just to counter that. So to summarize, to create the perfect email onboarding sequence, you need to define the moment of first value or the aha moment, design the emails so they lead users towards that moment, optimize the emails for high open rates, and finally, warm up your domains to always land in the primary inbox. If any of that was helpful, please like and subscribe because this would help me greatly. Thank you for watching.